think we should move ahead. So, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Tucson-Pima County Historical Commission Plans Review Subcommittee meeting of Thursday, October 3rd, 2024, called to order at 1:04 p.m. And in lieu of, I will call roll. Terry Majewski is here. Jen Mulder.
Here.
Joel Ireland.
Here.
Ricky Riojas.
Here.
Hi, Ricky. Thank you. Andrew Christopher.
Here.
Great. We have a full house, 5-0.
So who is using iPhone 5?
Margot Sackheim.
Okay, thank you.
And also Elaine Hill.
Great. Okay, item 2 is review and approval of the 9/24/2024 legal action report / minutes. Could I have a motion to approve as submitted, please?
This is Jan. I move to approve the 9/24 legal action report as submitted.
This is Andrew. I'll second.
Great, thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, I'll go ahead and call roll. Terry votes aye. Jan?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
Ricky?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Great, it passes 5-0. Thank you. Item 3, historic preservation zone review cases that we review under UDC section 5.8/TSM 9-02.0.0/historic district design guidelines and the revised Secretary of the Interior standards and guidelines. So case 3A isn't here yet? Still?
I do not see them here, Madam Chair. I think we can
Okay.
proceed to 3B.
Yeah, well, we'll go to, we'll take 3B first, which is SD 0924-00087 at 845 East University Boulevard. This is for a new storefront configuration and a new brick veneer, repair stucco. It's a full review in the West University Historic Preservation Zone. It's a contributing resource and will use the rehabilitation standards. Staff, will you give us some background, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, this case went before West University Historic Preservation Zone on September 17, 2024. West University reviewed the same plans that I sent to you, and their recommendation was they recommended approval as presented, and they did not have any condition. And the motion was they voted 4-0 to approve the plans as they were submitted.
Okay, so West University approved as presented. Okay, and who's presenting today?
Tom, you want to share your screen?
Hi, Michael, by the way.
Hey, hi.
You and I haven't interacted for like before COVID.
I know.
I know. I'm not sure I know how to share my screen.
Okay.
That green button towards the center of the screen, it has an arrow pointing up, and then go ahead and assign him.
I'll make you the co-host.
And there's an arrow in the center of the screen.
That green box with an arrow pointing up, it says share underneath it.
Let's see here.
Yeah, Tom, it could be on the bottom. It depends on what your screen looks like.
It's right on the
Okay.
bottom, Tom. It's a green square. It's a green square with a black arrow.
Oh,
Pointing up.
okay.
If
Can
not,
you-
if
can you do
cannot,
that,
Can
Gene?
you do that?
I'm not good at this either. I can try. What are we trying to show? The elevation or the?
Plans,
Did
the
you
plans
do a
that-
presentation?
Well, can we
You
just
have
talk through it, or do we need to show something? Or,
No, we need to see it.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you guys already had the packets.
Oh, well, typically
we do,
people pull it up and then walk through it, and you like flip through the packet as you go through it, because then we make sure we're all on the same page and all looking at the same thing.
Oh,
Okay,
I
so
see. Okay.
You have to
I'm disabled.
I don't.
Let's see here.
PDSD website.
So because we're on yours. So, Jean, did you say that you want to do it?
Well, I'm not good at this stuff either. I'm an old guy also, but I can try.
Okay. So if you want to try, we can make you a co-host and then you should not be disabled anymore. You should be able to share your screen.
Yeah, let me see.
If you can't do it, then we can do it on this side. But usually the applicant, you know.
No, I
has
understand.
control.
I realize it's just I always have my staff do all this stuff and I don't have to do this stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how to pull up the presentation to show you the elevation. So just bear with me a second.
We have the entire packet that was submitted, full HPZ design review
Yeah.
that Michael has.
And it's not, the presentation that you're gonna show us today is not different from what you submitted, correct?
No.
Correct. It's exactly the same, correct. Because Michael, we ran it by Michael before Jean actually submitted it. And it's this is the same packet that I presented basically to West University neighborhood, to WUSAP.
Let's get ready in case they can't do it.
I just dropped off. God damn it. Okay, I had dropped off accidentally.
Okay, so let's see.
See how I can do this.
3. So is it, which one is it? This one, okay.
So do you want us to share? Or you just go through as we go.
If you
That
could,
would
that'd
be-
be great, Michael. Let me show you which it's dated. I'm pulling
No,
up-
we got it. We got
They
it.
have it, Jean.
Yeah, okay. I figured you do. I'm just trying to be helpful.
Yeah. There we are. Perfect.
There you go. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And then you'll have to click through it for them.
One day we'll figure this out. So
I-
that's just,
I can walk through this first part before we get into the design.
Okay, go ahead.
This
Yes, yeah.
this is in the HPZ zone. It's on the north side of University Boulevard. The west side is street is Euclid. The east street is not a street anymore. It was purchased. It was Tyndall, and it's on the north side. It's approximately 31,700 square feet. And it was built, over 20 years ago. It was designed of blessed memory by Phil Dinsmore, who was with Architecture One, and it was approved. The design was approved by WUSAP. If we go to this after the application part, if we go to the next sheet, the next page, full HPC design review, and we have a project narrative that Jean wrote, and I listed the addresses of where we've had changes. And just for the board's, information, which they should have, the storefronts have changed with the uses over the time of 20-some years. The biggest change was when we were fortunate enough to get the CVS drugstore, which the neighborhood and the university, everyone wanted, the students, because the closest drugstore was quite a ways away. And that we removed 4 storefronts, and now we have the CVS.
Are we on the right place here, Tom?
Pardon me?
Can you see my screen?
yeah,
Yes.
can you
Yes.
scroll up a
Yeah.
little bit, scroll up just a little bit so you can see the subject property. No, the other way, other direction. I'm sorry. There you go. Keep going.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
perfect.
There you go.
There we go. I see
Yeah.
it, right next to General Benz.
Yeah, well, and the CVS is on Euclid. It's the far west building of the two buildings. There's 3 buildings. And that is just west of the site we're talking about. And that was 4 stores, and now it's 1 with large picture windows, of which we then put historic photos in these large picture windows, blew them up, you know, of downtown and the university and so on. Then the next store, we changed Payway when it opened a little bit, and that's the space we're talking about right now. Payway is not there any longer. And when Whoops went in, we changed their window, added a window, I should say. We changed the windows for nail mechanics. And the other changes were the barbecue was a major change. We did a cut through so one could, of the exterior wall, so one could go right up and get served by standing outside of the premise. And we had that approved, and we actually cut through the wall. And then General Benz, those changes were pretty major. We cut in, maybe Michael remembers, 5 different windows on the southeast portion of the General Benz building. And we also added all steel structure and so on over the patio. So I just mentioned that because what we've done is we've gotten approval, but we've gone through these various changes over time to accommodate, you know, the different uses and keep the space full. And the largest obviously being CBS, where we really, that was a major change. The tenant we're talking about now, if we can go actually, I think through the pages, they just identify the overall space and what Michael brought up on the screen. The tenant is a tenant that we're really fortunate to get. There's going to be 2 in the state of Arizona, and they like historic areas. One is in Scottsdale. It's open. And the other location will be here at the main gate. They have, they actually have a space in the most historic retail street really in the country, in Boston. They like that type of area, and there's only going to be 50 of these stores in the country. And like they did in Boston and other locations, they're an apparel store, I should mention that, and that's why we want to change, so there's some transparency. You know, when people walk by or across the street. If you look at the page, Michael, if we can bring up the rendering itself. Yes, thank you. And there's an existing photo also of existing, what the left, if facing, looking at it, the left portion, which is all glass in this, is a double door right now. And that was a function of Payway and people lining up or coming out, I should say, with what they grabbed in the store. And then they also have this door that you see to the right, which is it will be a present door, and that will not change. But there's no need for, you know, the apparel store to have basically 3 doors, a double door and this one. And so we want to change that to glass, so people can look in the store and see also the apparel. And on the middle portion, there was a mullion going across the top, and there's a brick, kind of a kneel wall, I guess one would call it, right, Gene?
Yeah, it's a bottom.
Bottom and
So it's a sill base for the storefront.
Right, but the present condition is about 8 courses, 7 or 8 courses, and we want to reduce that because if we don't, what they'll do is build a platform inside, and that's basically kind of unsightly, to be honest, and then have mannequins on top of the platform. So, and this is pretty much close. These type of windows are pretty much what they've done in other stores and in that historic area, actually in Boston. So that's what we're requesting. And went through this with Wuzab and I explained just exactly what I explained momentarily, just right now.
Okay, Tom, what is the name of the business?
That to be honest, we are supposed to be very confidential. And they've asked us not to name it.
I see. Okay, no worries then. Go
And
ahead.
otherwise, believe me, I would tell you, I actually signed something. There,
No, that's okay. Go ahead and proceed.
okay, well, I kind of feel bad, not being able to say that.
That's
so-
sort of weird, but that's okay. It's not your
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah,
Let- Tom?
and they actually, this
let
is
me throw-
interesting. It's very successful, and they actually, we asked about a sign, right? Because I've always gotten sign approvals for these various stores over the years. Well, originally when I built it with the Marshall Foundation, and as of right now, they don't want a sign. And I just say that on the side, nothing about the design, but I've never talked to a retailer ever in my whole history that they said, no, we don't think we need a sign or want a sign.
That's very bizarre, but if you do get a sign, they would have to come back, right, Michael?
Yeah, they will have to go through a review, either come back as a full review or as a minor review, depending on the
Yeah.
site.
And we always, as Michael knows, over the years, we always have, we've got, all the
You
signs
have,
have, sure, we always get them approved.
yeah.
Can I just say
Okay,
one
let's
quick
go ahead.
thing? Can I
Let's
just say
have
one quick thing?
commissioners ask questions. Who wanted to speak?
Gene Goldstein, the architect.
Okay,
This is
go ahead,
just a quick follow-up to Tom. So all the scope of this project is about is as he mentioned, the storefront and the brick below to support the new storefront. Everything else you see on this drawing is existing to remain.
Right.
So just so you're
Yeah.
clear, you might have been clear, but if you weren't, I want to just say that.
No, thank you, but it is,
Oh, that's
it
good.
says here on the drawing existing this and that, so that
Yep.
makes sense. So let me go through the commissioners and see if they have questions, and let's start with Ricky.
I have no questions, but I do just want to say my internet keeps cutting out, so I am here for as long as I can be here.
Okay, just keep an eye, Michael and Christina, just to see if we lose Ricky, okay?
We'll do.
Okay, thank you. Andrew?
Only question I have is, what's the reason for not continuing the single course of brick sill on the left-hand side like you have in the middle?
It's because it's not there now. It could be continued. In the other areas, it's broken up in the front of the other stores at different times, depending on, the particular storefront of that store. But it could be continued. That came up and also in the WUSAB discussion. And then they decided they thought this was cleaner. So, but that, that's definitely up for discussion. There's no problem.
Okay.
And I should mention, I apologize as chair, that all the colors and materials and so on, when we put in the new course of bricks and so on, as Jean mentioned, everything will be as existing from Euclid all the way to what used to be Tyndall. There'll be no change.
Okay. All right. That was my only question. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Jan?
Yeah, the one comment or question was related to Andrews and about the continuation of the brick. And personally, I think it would look more congruent if it did show there. I'm wondering if the discontinuity there and elsewhere is because its storefronts have been changed out so many times, and maybe that was a door, you want to preserve your option. But I think for me, it would be more pleasing to have it continue. And along those lines, I'm also wondering about, again, not looking at it in real life, but just in the flat plane there, whether having that brick, a compromise where the brick goes up to the bottom level of the store door. So you had a line across there versus just this little sill at the bottom. And I don't know what the other storefronts look like and what you've done there, but that's just one thing I was kind of noodling on.
Mm-hmm. We definitely could continue it along. If it goes up very much with the way the merchandise is and so on, that they would start building a platform. And it's really,
Okay.
disconcerting. But as far as I can see what both comments, you know, or as far as continuing that across to the west.
Yeah, to me, it just looks
That's-
kind of unfinished to not have it framed like
Sure.
everything else is, but
I've
that's
made a
my
note.
opinion.
I've made a
Gene,
note of
I-
that, Tom. So
Pardon
that
me?
I've made a note of that in the plans
Yeah.
we're preparing for them.
Yeah,
We'll
that
carry
could,
that
that
through.
could work well. Yeah,
Yeah, it seems like it's only a couple inches high anyway, right? It's the,
correct.
it's,
Yeah, we
yeah,
want it
so
to
it,
be very,
yeah.
yeah, just a course or two. Correct.
okay, all right, let's see. Let's ask our final commissioner. Joel, do you have any questions?
No questions. I'm fine.
Yeah, actually, the note says single course, just FYI.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, it's hard for me to tell. I'm staring at this, but
Yeah.
I need new glasses, so. Okay, if there are no other questions, would someone be willing to make a motion? I guess we all agree that it'd be nice to continue that course on that one window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and-
Can I add one more comment
Yeah,
here?
yeah, sure.
I was just looking at the other storefronts along here, and it looks like they all do have masonry, knee wall below the glazing, and part of that is they have a sloped masonry sill under that window. So I'm wondering, how far would you guys be able to raise this? Just maybe a couple courses. So maybe you had 2 courses and then a sill course. Would that be too high?
So you're saying 3 courses plus a solid sill piece.
3 courses inclusive of the sill.
Inclusive.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that, Tom.
No, how many inches would that be? But just 3 inches? 3.
It's going to be about 4.5 inches approximately.
Yeah, so, yeah, we could definitely we could go two courses, and then the perpendicular course is, I call it the perpendicular course. Would that be correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
And the board, is that making the?
Yeah,
is that
I think
what
I
you
think that
mean?
would, I think that would be good. I'm sensitive to the fact you guys want to keep it low, but that is kind of a common feature across all those storefronts is,
Mhm.
to have that sloped sill and a base course. So if we can do that, I think we'll be good.
Oh, great. Is everybody okay with that? Maybe Andrew, you make the motion since you know what you want to say.
Yeah, I can do that if everyone's okay with it.
Yeah, I agree. I like having, besides the consistency, I like having a little more definition there too. So thank you, Andrew.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, go ahead, Andrew.
Alrighty. On the matter of SD 0924000087 at 845 East University Boulevard, I move to approve the project as submitted with the following condition: that the base course of masonry under the storefront be extended under the west side window, and that the base course should be 3 courses of masonry inclusive of a sloped masonry sill to match the adjacent suites.
Great. Is there a second?
I'll second. This is Ricky.
Okay, is there discussion of that? Go ahead.
Just to clarify that Andrew's talking about not just that westward storefront, but all across in terms of the modification.
Correct.
Yeah, we take it that way. We take it that way.
Yeah.
Andrew, this is a funny question. I think this will definitely be approved by the tenant. If the tenants said, and I don't know why they would, they've been, particular, but they've been also very cooperative. We're going to have a clear ceiling that goes up inside the store. I know that's not why we're here, but it's going to be 25 feet high at points because you can see the top cupola and so on, and those clear story windows. So they've been really great, but I'm wondering if they came back and said, no, we can't, we have to have 2 courses. We'll live with 2 courses. Could I have the flexibility? I'd be totally honest, because I'm just going to say these are the conditions and this is what was approved, period.
Well, Tom, let me just say that we're right in the middle of a motion, so I can't really
Excuse me.
take your questions yet. So
Okay,
if
I'm
you need
sorry.
to, you both need to understand that West University and PRS make recommendations to the planning director. The planning director decides what to do, to put in the letter, and then you have a chance to appeal the letter. And then if there's, we'll let Michael speak to that after we vote on this. So anyway, so we're in the middle of this motion. Are we still okay with the motion as written, as stated?
Yes.
Mhm.
With the
Yeah.
understanding that it's across all three of those bays, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So, any further discussion then, or can I take the vote?
I guess this is Jan. The only thing I'd say is asking if the tenant feels they need to build up a modest platform in front of the window. To me, that doesn't seem like a hardship, but that's me.
Okay, so you're just saying no changes to the motion, and we'll find out
Yeah.
if there is an issue. Okay, so let's go back to voting on it. And I'll go ahead and call roll. Terry votes aye. Jan?
I,
Chair, who seconded the motion?
Okay, it was
I seconded it,
Andrew,
Ricky
Michael.
did.
Andrew and Ricky.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Terry votes aye. Jan?
I,
Joel?
Aye.
Ricky?
Aye.
And Andrew?
Aye.
Okay, so the motion passes 5-0. This recommendation will go to the planning director, and along with the West University one, and the planning director will put whatever conditions in the letter. Isn't that correct, Michael?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
And so if they don't want to do this, then we would hate for this to go to appeal. That would be crazy. So what would happen?
Well, what we can do is, if they don't want to do this, they come up with something different. They can ask for a revision to a condition. In that case, we may have to bring them back to you for you to reconsider what they are talking about. May not necessarily go straight to the appeal. The appeal, if they want to appeal the whole decision, the appeal is when they want to.
Is that whose machine is that?
I think it might be me. Hold on.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Okay, does that make sense?
No.
Jean and Tom?
if it's just one condition, because it will only probably be one condition. If you want a revision to that condition of approval, the director can review it and either revise it that way, or if it needs to go back to the board, it will come back to the board for the board to reconsider what they have said today. We may not need to go straight to the appeal.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to that. I mean, but hopefully you can convince them that it's a
Right.
little bit more consistent with the rest of the storefronts. And again, remind them if they do eventually want to sign, then you'll have to come back through for that as a
Oh.
minor review. Correct, Michael?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Yeah. And yeah, no, and I've, as Michael knows, I actually was doing this before Michael was with the city, but way back, Michael, I've never appealed, and never had to make a change once we all decided together at a meeting. And I've probably been in front of you and your predecessors about 20-25 times. So
Oh, no worries, Tom. We
I
just
just
want to
brought
go
it up.
through.
I don't plan on doing that. It would have to be a real hard remark from the tenant, and otherwise we would just go as Andrew presented.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk it through. So thank you very much, both of you, and good luck with the project. And who knew a business that didn't want to sign, but hey, we'll see.
I
I'll check
know.
it out.
I'm just amazed.
Mhm.
Totally amazed.
Thank you
Right.
very
Okay.
much.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
thank
much for
you.
your
Yeah,
time.
bye.
Thank you.
Sure, thank
Thank
you. Okay, let's see, Michael, our other presenters are not here yet for 3A.
I still do not see them present here.
Okay. All right, so let's move on. We can always come back if they do show up in a reasonable time. We'll go on to item 4, which is public and institutional use in a development zone discussion. 4A is discussion on the use of public and institutional buildings as comparative properties in development zones. Now, we do have all commissioners on the meeting, all PRS members. So Jan, this was originally your item. I'll leave it up to you if you want to discuss it today or on a future meeting.
thinking this was going to be a short, specific project meeting. I wasn't prepared to talk about it, and I'd be happy if this were a short meeting again. So, if
Okay,
if
so
we move
no
along,
worries.
thank you.
No worries. I just wanted to ask you, but let's, Michael, if we think that we have a reasonable agenda in the future with everyone planning to attend, maybe we should address this so it doesn't linger on. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, Madam Chair. We can
Yeah.
talk about that, yes.
Right. Okay, perfect. Item 5 is Task Force on Inclusivity Report Recommendations. 5A is discussion on best practices for naming of city and county-owned physical assets. I really would like to get this done in the next month or so, just so that we can complete it as an item. I'm going to be working on that, and we'll submit it to Michael when it's, I'll distribute it when it's ready to discuss. Okay, item 6 is current issues for information discussion. 6A is minor reviews. Michael?
Madam Chair, after our last meeting, we did 3 reviews on signs in the Sunshine Mile area. There were 2615 East Broadway, 255 East Broadway, and 2549 East Broadway. Those signs were done by Ricky. I will let Ricky, she's still here, to give us an update.
Yeah.
Thank you,
and so-
Ricky.
So the 3 signs, one of them was alongside, one of them is the Rocco's Pizza, and the third one is the stylist shop. Part of the way through the minor review, Michael brought up the fact that the alongside has already been installed, so that is a permitting violation now. So I approved the other 2 signs as presented, but the alongside one is gonna have to come back because it's a permitting violation. Jude didn't realize that the sign was gonna have to go through a minor review before it got installed.
Oh,
It's part
okay.
of that Broadway. He installed the first sign and then they told him like, hey, you have to go through permitting for this. So that one's gonna come back as a permit violation.
Okay.
Yeah, but the other 2 were fine. The signs that on the front, they're gonna be a neon. The signs that are on the back are being mounted on a metal bar that was added to like a shade overhang that got installed as part of the remodel process.
Okay. Very good. Michael, other minor reviews?
Yes, Madam Chair, tomorrow in the morning, I discussed with you about, there was a project that had come before PRS, the air procedure reactivation, and PRS had requested them to come back for some color and placement of the boulevard. So Ricky and Andrew are ready to help us with that review tomorrow morning. So we are going to do that instead of them coming to the full PRS. Ricky and Andrew will look at it and then they will make a recommendation from there. This is in part because they are ready to start work on the project. They are talking about November 14 or something to start the painting and whatever thing they have to do. And so myself and Chair thought that this would be the best way to get them to where they want to be. So I sent the legal action report for the 2 meetings to Andrew and Ricky. I have not yet gotten the plans, but I plan to send them to Ricky and Andrew today as soon as they submit them to us. And then there is also the second project which Ricky and Andrew will be helping us to do. If you all recall, there was a 6th Avenue underpass that just came to plans review not long ago. We had the Stone Avenue underpass and 6th Avenue.
Right.
On the 6th Avenue underpass, there was a recommendation for them to research on the color, the original colors as much as they can. What they are telling us is that they have done all the research, but they do not have the original colors. So they are going to be proposing some other colors that are similar to what is existing at this point in time. So that also be looked into tomorrow. Those are the two minor reviews that Ricky and Andrew are going to help us with tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
And then I have a series of minor reviews that are lining up. I am going to send out a message to call for help.
Okay, thank you. And Jan and Joel, the reason I spoke with Michael about these, and I think these can be done relatively quickly and not come through plans review with the number of cases. And I appreciate Ricky and Andrew going, but Ricky, I think you made the motion on the activation project, El Presidio, and I think Andrew, you made the motion on the 6th Avenue underpass. So I think it's very appropriate that they just go and deal with it. Normally, we deal with things like color in a minor review if we even do deal with them. Does that make sense? So I just thought I would save us some time with the heavy caseload we've been seeing. So
Thanks.
I hope
Thanks for explaining.
Good deal.
Yeah, I just wanted you to know I'm not randomly doing these things. Okay, other minor reviews, or is that good?
And that's good. The rest that I have, I am going to send out a request for help.
Okay. Let's see, let's go on to 6B appeals.
We do
Oh,
not
wait.
have.
Michael,
Yeah?
did you want to mention the Starbucks
Oh.
sign?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there is the Starbucks, the sign at 130 East Congress had gone through a minor review process, and I know it was with Ricky. And then they turned around and said they were having problems with the penetration of the wall. I wanted to use a different style to put the sign up. And so what is suggested to me, I forwarded it to Ricky and asked Ricky to take a look at it and come up with a recommendation for that. So I will also leave that to Ricky to give the subcommittee exactly what her finding is.
Okay, so I sent an email back to Michael that I was okay with it. They had initially hung up the new Starbucks sign, so you can see the holes in the wall, but they were having issues getting the sign to stay, so they took it down. And now they're requesting some additional penetrations that go to the brick, because before they were only mounting it in the stucco. So I said that I was okay with that, but I'm asking that they leave that mounting system there if they ever leave, just so that it can continue to be used rather than, this is like the second time that wall has been drilled into in 4 years.
Hey, Ricky, this is Jan, and I asked about this before. I just find it really disturbing that they got the L or whatever they were called, their sign went up, and when I asked about why Starbucks wasn't in there, they said using the same holes, which is a requirement. I think you were told that, well, they couldn't do it because they weren't on the second floor, which honestly seems like kind of BS. So I'm kind of troubled that now we have the third set of penetrations essentially with one sign, and who knows what, next peach tenant is going to come in with.
Yeah, I believe, and I can double check the plans, that the initial, they only put 3 penetrations in the wall when they hung the sign initially. So they're still using those same 3 that they just drilled, but they're making them deeper so that they mount into the brick under the stucco.
Oh, I see
then-
what you're saying.
yeah,
They're
and then-
not separate holes. So, okay, so it's just those and the original old ones that they, for whatever reason, couldn't put their sign there, which would be more visible. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah. The sign, it still meets the sign limits, but it is definitely a larger sign than the L was.
Oh my God. Oh, I haven't been by there.
Yeah, it was up for like a week, and then they took it back down because I drove by last night to double check to make sure they had taken it down and not done the additional mounting without
Wow.
permission.
Okay. So the other thing I noticed was Starbucks, and again, I haven't been by there in a while, and I know Seattle had regulations against this. Tucson probably doesn't, but with the historic building, it's kind of disturbing. They've got a wall in that comes into a window. And so you're just looking at basically rough framing coming into part of their storefront window. You
Oh,
know,
from where
it's-
they had hung the inside?
Yeah, the
sign?
inside build, no, it's the inside build out.
Oh,
It just looks kind of cheap and I'll walk by there again, but it just looks like really,
yeah.
in terms of street appeal, it just looks crappy.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are specific products meant for doing that, just putting the framing up on the glass is not really how it's supposed to be done, but I don't know how.
I don't know if it
I
came
don't-
on the glass, it just kind of dead ends, you know,
Yeah,
up to a sill or something and just looks, it looks unfinished, basically.
yeah. I think
That-
the bad
That
part
part
is
did
we
not
wouldn't-
come through.
No, I
Yeah.
know, I know.
Yeah, I don't know that we would catch those things in our reviews, but
Well, we
yeah.
don't see the inside build, but then the inside build is reflected outside if they're doing stuff like that, so.
Yeah.
Just something to think about for future, I think. Certainly wasn't on my radar.
Mhm.
So the director is going to revise a decision letter to put the condition that Ricky had talked about. So when the sign is going to be, or a different tenant is coming in, they will leave that board there so that any other tenant coming in will continue to use the same board. So they're not taking it out and then another tenant comes in and wants to put in another penetration. So that will be our revision to the decision letter, which the director is going to do for that case.
So Michael, just when future tenants come in, you know, they still have one more option, and if Starbucks leaves, there are gonna be two options there, so.
Yeah,
Just to kind of stop the proliferation.
exactly. And then the other thing is for the Tucson Museum of Art, they are proposing because of water damage, the stucco in the front facade, in fact, on the whole building is peeling off. And so because it is a city project, they are proposing to stucco the whole front facade. So on Tuesday, Koki, myself, and some people from the other city department, we met on a site visit to review the scope of work before the city signs a contract with them. It is going to be a full review. So once they get the scope of work together, they're going to go for review to Armory Park, and eventually they will come up to you. Nothing has been submitted to the city yet. It was just a preliminary review. So I thought I should at least get you up to speed with what is going on with that.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Okay, any other things before we move on to appeals? 6B?
I don't have anything on minor review, but 6B, there are no appeals at this point in time, Madam Chair.
Okay, 6C, zoning violations.
As we always do, we continue to work on these cases and they will come to you, and we'll try to put them on the agenda as violations so that before you review them, you know. The next violation case that will be coming to you will be at 819 North Euclid, the Aggie House, which is a fraternity in West University. They proceeded to remove all the windows on that house without going through any historic review at all. They all the windows and replaced them with different type of windows. So they went to West University on the September the 17th. So by the 24th or so, you will be able to have a chance to review that zoning violation.
Okay. Item 6D is review process issues. Does anyone want to raise a review process issue?
The only thing I can mention, Assistant Madam Chair, like you and I talked about, maybe we should begin to talk about the schedule for November and December.
Yes.
So myself and the chair thought maybe in November, there's a possibility we may just have one meeting because of Thanksgiving. And then in December, of course, for sure, in December, we're going to have just one meeting in December because Maria is going to be out of the office I will also be out of the office for the later part of December. We are not sure whether by that December we already have a historic preservation officer in place yet. So it would make sense, particularly in December, for us to consider having just one meeting in December.
Yeah, because normally we would meet in November on the 14th and the 28th. And I believe the 28th is Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And so we could meet just the 14th. And then in December, we have the same situation with the first meeting on the 12th and the second, the day after Christmas, when I don't think we really want to meet. So how do people look for November 14th and December 19th? No, I'm sorry, December 12th.
November 12th.
Yeah, and November, what did I say, 14th?
November 14th and December 12th.
What do people think?
Those work for me.
Those work for me too.
Okay.
Sure.
Are we gonna
But-
have too big of a backlog? Because the reason we had this one is partially because people are complaining because they've waited so long to go through plans review. Is this gonna create a super large backlog moving into January?
Well, I think what we'll do, Ricky, is Michael and I will look at the cases that are coming up, and try, in the past, we've scheduled additional meetings if we need to, because I think after 2.5 to 3 hours, we're brain dead and we can't really give our best or give our all on these reviews.
Yeah.
And so, Michael's been very good about working with me, letting me see the agenda rather than be surprised with a 4 or 5 case agenda. So we're going to try to work closely on this and see. Now we do not have the presenters on, as far as I can tell. So that case, the Donaldson House will be moved. Did they know about it clearly, or what was the story, Michael?
They were informed, Madam Chair, at the last meeting. I believe it was said in the open meeting that they are going to come for the next meeting, and I sent out the information to all of them. They are quite aware of it. So
Maybe they thought it was our next regularly scheduled meeting and didn't catch that it was a special meeting.
Yeah, and Michael asked if we could even add another case to this one, so we added this one, but then I said, don't add the third one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
yeah, I added the third one and Madam Chair rejected. So
Well, I mean, we had no idea because we really thought that they were coming, and that would have taken a little bit longer, but I assume they'll be on the 24th. So let me know. And since we're having our next meeting the day after the full commission meeting on Wednesday, Michael, if you could get with me about the agenda, maybe on Monday for the next meeting, I don't know. And then
sure.
also I'll have to look at the LAR really quickly. But thanks, Jan and Andrew, for looking at that last LAR, because you caught a few things that were good. So I appreciate that. Anyone else with a review process issue? I had one and I can't remember it now. Clearly wasn't that important. Okay, item 7 is summary of public comments, and we had the public comment from the Tucson Historic Preservation Foundation for the Donaldson House and the property that we did last time. Yeah, for the commissary, right?
Yes.
So we'll just assume that comment is still active when we finally do the Donaldson House. Is that okay with everyone?
Works for me.
Yeah, does everyone have that comment, or do we need Michael to send it to everyone again?
I remember seeing it, but could we get it resent out just so it's at the top of our inbox?
Yeah,
Maybe
could you?
it could be posted when we post the agenda and
Okay.
people would have it. Is that
I
acceptable?
think that's a good idea. We've requested that in the past, and for some reason we couldn't, but I think that I would like that
Okay.
to be posted if you can.
I
Thank
will
you.
add it as part of the review material.
Thank you.
Very good. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, because it's not fair that, that we're not doing that case. So, but it's very important, read through it. I will summarize it into the record or read it into the record because that's important, I think, for the recording. So, but there were no other comments, Michael, on these
No.
today's cases?
No,
I-
no other comment was submitted, Madam Chair.
Okay.
So when is the Donaldson review going to happen?
We think it will be the next meeting, but Michael will have to advise, and I'm sorry that you had to wait on there, but they did not show up today. So
Okay.
so I don't know so our next meeting is, let me look here for sure.
The 10th, I think,
The
is it?
the 10th.
The next
Next
meeting,
week.
the
Yeah.
next meeting is the 10th, Madam Chair, and I do not believe that I will send a draft agenda to you. I do not believe that they can be on the meeting of the 10th because it would be another very long meeting, unless you decide otherwise. If not, I will put them on the meeting of the 24th.
Right, I mean, yeah. So I think that that's fair, and maybe we need to do more when we do these special meetings, just remind the people. I mean, we assumed that they would be on the 10th because they were still on the meeting when we were talking about it.
Or today, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, today's meeting, right? I'm sorry, yeah.
Mary, Margot Sackheimen and I are here. I'm Elaine Hill, and Mary Lou, who's our current chair, was on too. I apologize that we missed the last meeting. We thought it was going to be on Thursday last week. But we intend to attend next time.
Okay,
Once we schedule it, Ellen, I think myself and White, we will make sure that we let you know what is being scheduled for. Right now, tentatively, I'll be looking at October the 24th.
Okay,
I don't think that they'll be able to be on the agenda of the 10th.
okay.
I'll share the agenda with the chair, and the Madam Chair will let me know what she thinks. But I don't think it will be on the 10th. Because on the 10th, we already have 3 projects.
Okay, just let us know. Thank you.
okay, and then I think we look at what November and December caseload is and see if we need, I think we've done a special meeting if things can't be held over till after the first of the year. So anyway,
Yeah.
that sounds good. And so what will we be seeing then for item 8, future agenda on October 10th?
What I'll be sending to you, Madam Chair, the Benedictine Monastery, they came to this subcommittee as a courtesy review last time, the La Rosa Performing Arts Center. And so they will now have revised their plans based on the review, the comments that they got from you, and they'll be coming in on the 10th for a full review. Then we have the Midtown Reliability Project, which is a TEP project for the things that they are going to install in town. So we'll be coming to you. Also, that one will be a courtesy review. And then we have the Huber Park Library expansion and rehabilitation, which will be coming to you as a courtesy review too. So those are the 3 that I have for now scheduled for the 10th. If you think that work that is not heavy enough, we can add the Donaldson house. If not, I would not like a project to add, but I will send it to you.
Okay, I tell you what, if you want to call me tomorrow afternoon, later in the afternoon to discuss, I'm just curious about this Midtown Reliability Project. Yeah, that could be heavy.
I believe it will be heavy, and I have been advised that a lot of people are going to attend the meeting or are going to participate in the meeting. So that is why I'm trying to make it a light agenda so that my colleagues that are working in the rezoning and special for entitlements have already alerted me that many people are planning to show up for that meeting.
Okay, and I
Yeah.
would suggest, go ahead. Yes, Jan?
No, maybe you're going to say, I was going to say something like that. If we think it's going to be a big deal, maybe we could tag it on the end.
I was going to say,
Yes.
let's move it to the courtesy at the end, the monastery full, or the Midtown Reliability at the end.
Yes, I have the monastery up because it's an actionable item. I have the Heber Park, which I don't think is going to be any controversial as the second item, and then the midterm reliability is going to come at the third item based on what you are saying. Now I can do that.
Okay,
Michael,
Great minds think alike.
are they presenting the whole transmission project, or is this for the zoning for the substation?
I have not looked at their plans. They just told me that's what they want to do. They were talking about some perpendicular something that they are going to do. So
Okay.
I think they have scaled down on whatever thing they were trying to do. They're doing some alignment thing with some 3 substation or something like that. Basically, that's what they told me. So by the time I schedule it, I will have a better idea of what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
and commissioners, be sure that you review all of the letters that we've written on Midtown reliability. We already have a stance on this.
Right.
Terry, I will not be able to be at that meeting. I'll be in Denver.
Okay, on the 10th, you're gone, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so is everyone else going to be on?
Believe so.
Yes, I'll be
Yes.
on.
Yes,
Okay, so then we're fine for a quorum. So thank you, thank you. Joel, it's good to see you again. We miss you.
thanks so much.
Yeah. All right, everybody. If there's nothing else under future agenda items, are we good?
We're good, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Great. All right, let's go ahead and adjourn at 2:00.
Whoa,
And isn't that crazy?
that's crazy.
Okay. Thank you so much, Michael, and I'll look for the LAR when you can get that to me.
I will try to get it to you as quickly as I can, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much.
Terry, could I ask you a short question about something else, or can I just call you?
Yeah, why don't you call me? You've got my cell, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.